What would you do if the hot girls link was really stolen girls or missing daughters? Would you still want her? If your mama's face was flashing in the margin while you surfed the internet hoping to get hot and bothered, it might be easier to see that what's happening isn't free. It's the closest thing to the slave trade that built this country. In both instances, there was a life that existed before, where people walked confidently and held communal identities, where skirmishes were settled by knowing what to ask in exchange for disagreements was a knowing glance, and the hardest things to manage were the chosen relationship tasks. But it's different now, because last night she walked up and down the block till daylight. See, Mondays are forced film days. Tuesday, exotic dancing down at Ray's. By Wednesday, it's all she can do to bid her sanity stay. And last night, the guy who paid top dollar was a corporate exec by day at a nonprofit that claims that it's the children they save. After a long day of being consumed with his own lust and not realizing that the very people he objectifies are being victimized. I thought don't ask, don't tell was a marginalizing military policy, but apparently it plays out daily in the lives of his daughter and her mommy, because if she looks a certain way and behaves however the media portrays, and her dress sways when the wind blows, it must be that she is of age to do whatever he says, and with a pimp like Perez, it's easy to see why she stays. It's an invisible cycle. Because nobody's monitoring his Facebook chronicles or the section he has that makes it easy to anonymously say, "Give me that one," or "I'll take little Shay." All it takes is one click, 1 minute for the transaction to take place before she vanishes without a trace, with a man who's old enough to be her daddy, and she becomes confused as to who's supposed to protect her if the mean man forces her to address him with the same title. It seems this sick trade is becoming a modern-day American Idol. What would you do if the hot girls link was really stolen girls or missing daughters? Would you still want her? If it was your sister who was headlining down at your favorite strip club, and while your friends were making it rain, she was writhing in pain, hoping her wig wasn't so good of a disguise that you couldn't recognize her and rescue her from the guys who stole her from cheerleading practice the week before. Her whole body's sore, and there's a hole in her heart the size of Dante's unpaid rent, and she's the check. Better yet, the human down payment on his economic stimulus plan. See, there's a lot of demand for adolescence and innocence. I just wonder where justice fits into this. What would you do if the hot girls link was really stolen girls or missing daughters? Would you still want her? If you stumbled across a page where the girls were categorized by elementary school grade rather than racial group or anatomy size, would you still see it the same way? All I'm asking is that you surf with a new lens. Make people human again. That's somebody's relative. Abuse isn't comparative. It's as if the whole world has been given a sedative and we're just beginning to come out of the trance. Like Nikki Giovanni says, know who's playing the music before you dance. This isn't a game or an entertaining piece. Please be aware of what you're doing. Don't just look casually. Really see that the temptation you think you're fighting could be using someone who's related to you or to me. Now, what would you do if the hot girls link was really stolen girls or missing daughters? Would you still want her?